Hi, my name is Logan. I'm 12 years old, and this is my podcast and YouTube channel. It's called You're Welcome Without Asking. The point of it is to do the investigating for you, to be able to give you the answers to the questions you didn't even know you needed to ask. So with the help of my dad and some pretty cool guests, that's what I hope to do. And today's episode is all about what's the best fast food meal. So here's You're Welcome Without Asking.
All right, best fast food meal. So as with everything that you've done through this channel, we have thought through what the word best is going to mean, okay? And so for those watching and listening, Logan's put a handful of different layers onto this definition of best. As we were ordering the food, we went to 4 different fast food restaurants, all within the city limits of Boone. And so disclaimer, it's likely, it's possible that one chain in a different location could be better than another one, just, workers and all that kind of thing. But for what we could control, we went to 4 locations within the town of Boone, and we picked the 4 that are typically recognized as a fast food chain. So we have Burger King, Hardee's, Wendy's, and McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as we pulled up to each restaurant, he started taking notes about how long we were there. So that's one layer of the definition of best. When we got our food, he checked to make sure that everything was right the first time through. He checked the bags to see if any of the bags were greasy, which without revealing any names, we were told on the way here that the true test of good fast food is the greasier the bag, the better. But yeah, so we look at those comparisons. What else? Oh, and he tried a French fry from each place as soon as it came out to determine if the food we got was fresh. Okay, so after those, we ordered the same thing at all 4 places. We ordered what would be a 6-piece nugget, and I say what would be, we'll talk about that in a second. A 6-piece nugget. We ordered a large fry, and we ordered the equivalent of a double cheeseburger at each place. And we got a honey mustard from each. And so what we're gonna do is, after Logan's thought through all this stuff, we're gonna taste test the same menu items from all 4 chains, and we're gonna compare all of those things we just said with the quality of the food, the size of the portion you get, and even the cost of each. And we're gonna be able to tell you, when this is all said and done, which is the best place to get that on the go, you don't have time, or you're just kind of craving fast food, cheeseburger, chicken nuggets, honey mustard fries. This is where to do it. So, where do you want to start?
Have you defined best yet?
Go ahead.
So we define best by how much it costs, the taste, how greasy the bag is, how long it took to go through the drive-through.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna look at, so we have a picture that I'll show you, or that we'll edit in a little bit to show you even the size comparison of the large fry. They're not the same size. The burgers are not the same size. The buns are not the same. So we'll talk through all those things in addition to just taste and cost, and we'll rank for you what we think is best. Okay? So, you want to start with the chicken nuggets, the fries, or the burgers?
I think we should start with the fries.
All right, let's start with the fries. So just to show you, here are all larges. They are clearly not the same size. They were all close to the same fill level. The crew has picked through some of them already because they were hungry. And they were all fresh when we got them. So let's just start with a taste test of each. And I'm thinking we'll try one plain and we'll try one in the honey mustard. We'll go ahead and rate the honey mustard while we're at it too.
Right.
Okay? So let's go with Burger King fry first. Okay. Hardee's. Cheers. I'm not liking the way this is shaping up already. All right, Wendy's. Okay, and McDonald's. Okay, without sauce on them, how would you rank the fries?
So I would say Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, and then Hardee's.
I would have gone Burger King, Wendy's, Hardee's, McDonald's, because the McDonald's ones are a little bit thin and brown, but still I agree with you. These were definitely the two better ones. So let's pick whichever one you want. Let's just use the Burger King ones, and let's try these honey mustards. All right, so this one is Hardee's honey mustard. Okay. This next one, this is the only one of the honey mustards that has a little bit of the Dijon kind of look to it, and it is from McDonald's. And if I could get the paper out of the way. Okay, this next one is Wendy's. And then Burger King. That won't even come out. Okay, so when it comes to honey mustard, we'll admit that we're a bit jaded with this because we collectively agree that we're pretty biased towards Chick-fil-A sauce and then Bojangles honey mustard, but neither one of them serve cheeseburgers, so we couldn't really include them in the analysis. That would have also brought in the Bojangles fries, which, oh man, yeah. So just for control purposes, we're gonna compare the Hardee's, the McDonald's, the Wendy's, and the Bojangles, or not, the Bojangles.
Yeah, you got that order.
What is this? Yeah, the Burger King. Okay, so what was your order?
I went Hardee's.
Yep.
Burger King, and then I didn't really
like either one of them.
Yeah, I didn't really get too much of anything coming from this, but this was like more like sweet than anything else. So they're like got the same.
I would agree with that too. So as far as fries, we've gone Burger King, Wendy's, and either McDonald's or Hardee's. Honey mustard, we've gone Hardee's, Burger King, and then Wendy's and McDonald's. So as of right now, Burger King is holding pretty strong on both the fries and the honey mustard as we continue this comparison. So next, you want to go chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to start with the Burger King?
Yeah, let's start with Burger King. So when we look at the chicken nuggets, Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's. Okay, so they're all pretty similar. They all have a pretty similar texture. They're all about the same thickness. The Wendy's ones look like they're a little bit fluffier.
Yeah.
But all in all, they seem like they're close to the same. So it should be just taste, right? Okay, so let's go with the Burger King one first. You ready? Okay. Wendy's.
Thank you.
Okay. McDonald's. Then Hardee's did not have an option for chicken nuggets. They only had an option for what they called chicken tenders. There was a picture on the menu. What we got was a chicken breast that had been breaded and cut into some strips. And yeah, so this is the Hardee's chicken nugget that we're using for the comparison. Here goes. Okay. So, let's talk about kind of the texture of it and the flavor. First, which one had the best flavor, in your opinion?
So, in my opinion, the one that had the best flavor was Wendy's.
Okay. And Wendy's was my second favorite. What I liked the Burger King one the best, actually. But the reason I did was because it had a little bit of a peppery kind of flavor to it, and I'm a pepper guy. If I didn't like pepper, then I probably wouldn't prefer this one, and the Wendy's one would have been my favorite. What about these two here?
So the way that I ordered mine was Wendy's, Hardee's, Burger King, and then McDonald's.
Okay. Off of flavor?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason I said flavor was,
I thought that was the best texture. That was the fluffiest. That felt like it had the like that felt like the best chicken.
Yeah.
Was the Wendy's one.
It's like fluffy. And then this, because I really like chicken tenders.
The Hardee's one had pretty good flavor because it's that fried breast that's been cut up. The texture, it was pretty kind of dry and stuff like that. The McDonald's one didn't have any flavor.
It was bland in flavor and kind of dry.
Kind of dry and like rubbery.
Yeah.
So I'd say McDonald's was my least favorite. I personally like the peppery texture of the Burger King and the flavor, but this one was really dry from the Hardee's. So for me, the Wendy's one would probably be my top one, with Burger King kind of being right up there. So when we add in the fries, the honey mustard, the chicken tenders, we're still looking at Burger King being a pretty solid meal. And then other than the fact that their honey mustard wasn't too spectacular, their chicken nuggets for Burger King and Wendy's seems to be still pretty high up there, right? So let's look at the burgers, and then we're going to look at those other factors like the time it took, the greasiness, the price, and stuff like that, okay? So this first one is your well-known McDouble. It's got the 2 patties, it's got the pickles, the onions, the ketchup, and mustard. There's no mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, anything like that. When we got it, and we'll put it in the pictures, it was pretty smashed. Pretty smashed down, which I think is pretty typical of the way you get them.
Yeah.
The patties are pretty thin, and it's got a piece of cheese in between each patty of meat. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Had a few of them, kind of knew what to expect with that. The next one, let's do the Wendy's one next.
All right.
So the Wendy's one, similar to the McDouble, it has pickles, ketchup, mustard, 2 patties, obviously they're square patties, piece of cheese between, so there's 1 piece of cheese and the cheese is between the patties instead of the 2 pieces like the McDonald's one. And there was a ring of onion instead of the little diced onions, and it just happens to not be in the bite that I got, which I'm not mad about because I don't like onions. So, okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Burger King one. The Burger King one has a sesame bun. None of the others have a sesame bun. And when I opened it, the Burger King one actually was pretty fluffy. And the cheese was oozing out. There's a piece of cheese between each patty. There's ketchup, mustard, pickles. I don't know that there's any onions on this one. I think it's just ketchup, mustard, and pickles. And then the cheese was oozing out of the two patties. The patties are a little bit thicker than the McDonald's. They're similar to the thickness of the square patties of Wendy's. By the way, I'm allergic to cheese. All right, the last one is the Hardee's double cheeseburger. Now, very first thing to note with this one, this thing was massive in comparison to the others.
Burger King, the Wendy's.
The Hardee's one is massive. The patties were not only a little bit thicker, but they were larger in diameter. It has lettuce. It has one piece of cheese. It's got some mayonnaise, maybe a little bit of ketchup and tomato.
Yeah, there's a little bit of ketchup, some lettuce, tomato.
So it's massive. It's got some different toppings on it, and it looked better. Mm-hmm. Now we'll see how it compares from a flavor standpoint. There were onions. They were rough diced, and they kind of just fell out. Okay, so let me ask you first, which one, in your opinion, tastes the best?
So, the way that I ordered it was Wendy's, Hardee's, Burger King, and then McDonald's.
Wendy's, Hardee's, Burger King, and McDonald's, okay? And that's off of flavor. What about the quality of the burger?
So, by quality, I would place Hardee's at the top.
Okay. The only downside to Hardee's was the patty was pretty dry.
Yeah, the Hardee's was dry, and it was pretty big to where it kept falling apart.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so let me go through it again. You've got Wendy's.
Hardee's.
That's Hardee's.
That's Hardee's. Burger King, and then McDonald's.
Okay. I thought the Burger King one, surprisingly enough, was my preferred one because the flavor was just kind of consistent and the quality of it was pretty good. But I liked the Wendy's one very closely. The Wendy's one was pretty consistent. The Hardee's one, I liked the size of it and kind of the texture, but the beef itself was just dried out, so I'd maybe have to get another one to make up my mind. And the McDonald's one was just kind of McDonald's quality. So it looks like we've still got Wendy's jumping up there pretty high.
Wendy's and Burger King.
And Burger King keep moving up pretty high, right? Okay, so from a taste test standpoint, a quality standpoint, it looks to us like Burger King and Wendy's are pretty neck and neck, pretty even. Mm-hmm. And McDonald's is just not fleshing out too awful strong. The McDonald's stuff has kind of not been our preference for any of those categories. So we've got the two that are neck and neck. We've got Hardee's as kind of a lingering around in between. So let's look at the other factors. When it came to the amount of time to get our food, how did the four rate? Also, I wish you guys could see they're playing Twister in the living room while we're doing these. So we're eating cheeseburgers while they play Twister.
So the Hardee's, it took us 6 minutes to get through the drive-through. Burger King, it took about 4. Wendy's 4 as well, and then McDonald's is actually 3 minutes.
So McDonald's was the fastest. Hardee's was the longest, and I will say as a disclaimer, they only had one employee, and that employee was outside when we pulled up. She came in, she took our order, and I think she cooked our food as well. So those couple of minutes difference are probably because of staffing. The McDonald's came out the quickest, and that might be indicative of why we haven't preferred their food as well. But now Wendy's and Burger King were both 4 minutes. At Burger King, they asked us a lot of follow-up questions. What did we prefer? Did we need extra sauces? They were pretty good with that. At Wendy's, I actually messed up the order, and they fixed it out the window, still got our order right, and got it out in 4 minutes. So pretty consistent there. And again, these two just continue to kind of shift ahead a little bit. Now, the grease on the bags, how did those rate out?
So Hardee's actually had no grease on the bag. Burger King had just a little bit of grease. Wendy's the same, just a little bit of grease. And then McDonald's had no grease.
So the amount of grease on the bag, in thinking about the old days of the bags coming out all sloppy and stuff like that, they don't really look like that anymore. And going back to that anonymous tip that the greasier the bag, the better the food, Wendy's and Burger King actually had just a slight amount of grease on the bag, and flavor-wise, it seems like we are picking those, but we didn't know that at the time. All in all, fairly consistent as far as the time it took to get the food. They got our orders right. The food was fresh when it came out, and the grease on the bags, all pretty consistent. Okay, so I guess the last thing we'll look at is cost. So we've kind of worked our way through all the stuff and gotten to our order so far. So now let's look at the cost comparison. Okay, we'll start with the large fry. The Burger King large is arguably the smallest of all of them, and Wendy's being the second largest. So there is one kind of issue with that. The cost-wise, Burger King's fries were $1.99. Yes, Burger King's large fry was $1.99. Wendy's was $1.79. So they're pretty close to each other. No, that's not the right price. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Those are for the nuggets. Burger King's fries were $3.09. Wendy's were $3.19. So still pretty similar, 10 cents difference between them. Hardee's was the cheapest at $2.59. McDonald's was the most expensive at $3.29. So the quickest food, the food we've preferred the least so far, their fries were the most expensive out of all of them. Hardee's being the cheapest, Burger King and Wendy's being very similar to each other. So I think that's still keeping us in about this order right here. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. So now the chicken nuggets. We rated Wendy's chicken nuggets as probably the highest. Wendy's chicken nuggets were $2.69 for 6. Burger King's were 70 cents cheaper. Burger King's were $1.99 for 6. So for the ones that we rated, you and I split on the flavor of them. The Burger King ones are considerably cheaper. The Wendy's ones, however, were the second cheapest. The third were the McDonald's ones that we rated last. These Hardee's tenders were $6.40 for this chopped up chicken breast thing. So double and almost triple the price of some of these other nuggets were the Hardee's ones. So Hardee's took a little bit of a hit, and these still continue to be right up there together. We split the flavor. Cost-wise, it was Burger King over Wendy's, so we're still looking at probably this order right here.
Yeah.
So last comes the burger. Which burger did we decide was the best?
You decided that Burger King, and I decided that Wendy's. So
we split on those.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had Wendy's as my second one.
Yeah.
So Burger King is $3.09. Wendy's is I was reading the wrong one. Burger King was $2.99. Wendy's was $1.79. So the Wendy's one is $1.20 cheaper than the Burger King. So for us to be split on it and for it to be the difference of $1.20, that's moving the Wendy's one up there, probably above the Burger King one.
Yeah.
Okay. The McDonald's one was $2.39. That was the one we rated last, but it was actually the second cheapest. The Hardee's one. Remember, I said the Wendy's was $1.79. The Hardee's one was $5.99 for the double cheeseburger. That was greater in size.
Yeah.
But was a little
bun.
dried out and kind of mixed on that. So Hardee's kind of let me down in that one. So all in all, it seems to be consistently that we're teetering back and forth between Burger King and Wendy's. And flavor-wise, consistency-wise, price-wise, they're pretty comparable back and forth. The size of the portions were pretty comparable. The honey mustard for Burger King was just ahead of the Wendy's one, so it's kind of neither here nor there. Go to Bojangles and get their honey mustard to dip it. So, when it's all said and done, Logan, where do you go to get the best fast food meal?
Say Wendy's.
Wendy's, and if you can't fight that intersection, get over to not Bojangles. I still want Bojangles. Get over to Burger King, and you can't really go wrong with either one of them.
Nope.
No, they were pretty consistent, pretty comparable. Prices were pretty similar. McDonald's, I guess if you're not going to get a Big Mac or a McFlurry, wasn't good. And Hardee's was okay, kind of off the beaten path and a little inconsistent. So Wendy's, can't get a Wendy's, go to Burger King. Should be a pretty solid day for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so he's got some other episodes and ideas in the works. Logan, take us home.
Thank you for watching and welcome without asking.